Rule 1. The gentle cleanse more harm than good with harsh habits? Picking up from the introduction's promise, the first revelation begins with Dennis, 74, who was caught in a cycle of discomfort, his daily habit turning against him until a simple truth emerged. For years, Dennis, a man in his mid-70s, had been plagued by relentless itching and dryness in his genital area. It was a source of constant frustration. He diligently changed his laundry detergents, switched between various powders, and even resorted to trying antifungal creams, hoping for relief that never seemed to last. The real culprit, however, was hiding in plain sight, disguised as a commitment to cleanliness. His twice-daily, aggressive cleaning routine with harsh antibacterial soap. As men age, their skin undergoes significant changes. It naturally thins and becomes far more prone to irritation, a fact particularly true for sensitive areas like the groin. The common approach of vigorous scrubbing or the use of harsh soaps, while perhaps well-intentioned for good penis hygiene, can inadvertently strip away the body's natural protective oils and the delicate balance of bacteria essential for healthy older men's skin. This was precisely Dennis's predicament. His visit to a urologist brought a surprisingly simple diagnosis. He was overcleaning. The very act he believed was keeping him healthy was, in fact, the source of his persistent discomfort. Following his urologist's advice, Dennis made a fundamental shift in his approach to gentle cleaning. He switched to a gentle, water-only rinse in the morning and just a quick, careful wipe in the evening. The result was nothing short of remarkable. Within a short period, his symptoms of itching and dryness almost completely vanished. Why does such a simple change yield such significant results? The skin in this area maintains its own natural balance of oils and beneficial bacteria, which act as a protective barrier. When this barrier is disrupted by rough scrubbing or strong chemical products, the skin becomes vulnerable, susceptible to redness, cracking, and increased sensitivity. This delicate balance becomes even more fragile as skin thins with advancing age. Therefore, effective hygiene in one's 60s, 70s, or 80s isn't about scrubbing harder. It's about supporting what the body is already trying to do. The proper technique involves using warm water and a soft touch. If soap is used, it should be mild, unscented, and free of alcohol or other harsh chemicals. Gentle washing, especially under the foreskin if uncircumcised, followed by thorough rinsing and careful patting dry to avoid trapped moisture, is key. Beyond the physical relief, adopting this kind of thoughtful care carries a profound psychological benefit. Taking those few extra moments each day to tend to this part of the body isn't merely about preventing infections. It's a quiet, daily act of self-respect, a message to oneself that this part of you still matters, that it isn't forgotten or past its prime but remains worthy of attention and care. This practice fosters a sense of dignity and quiet confidence. Dennis reclaimed his comfort by changing how he cleaned. But what if a problem isn't about what you're doing, but what you're not seeing? Frank, 79, learned this the hard way when a tiny, painless mark held a serious secret. Rule 2. The daily glance, what your eyes can tell you before pain does. Dennis reclaimed his comfort by changing how he cleaned. But what if a problem isn't about what you're doing, but what you're not seeing? Frank, 79, learned this the hard way when a tiny, painless mark held a serious secret. He first noticed what he dismissed as a small ingrown hair on his penis. It didn't hurt, so, like many might, he ignored it for several weeks. That seemingly insignificant, painless spot, however, turned out to be an early-stage skin cancer. This brings us to a crucial, often overlooked habit: conducting a daily visual check for any changes in the skin, shape, or surface of the penis. This isn't about fostering fear or obsession. Rather, it's about cultivating familiarity. The earlier you notice something that doesn't look quite right, the easier it typically is to address and the more peace of mind you can secure for yourself moving forward. A common assumption among many older men is that if there's no pain, there's no problem. But this isn't always the case. Issues such as skin infections, small sores, unusual bumps, or even the initial signs of early cancer detection can develop slowly and silently. Sometimes, it might be a subtle bit of discoloration that wasn't there last week, or perhaps a spot that feels rough, crusty, or simply hasn't healed as it should. These aren't necessarily things to panic about, but they are certainly things to pay attention to and warrant a professional opinion. Frank's story underscores the importance of such vigilance. Because he eventually sought medical attention for the persistent mark, his early-stage skin cancer was diagnosed promptly, and the treatment was both simple and successful. "I never thought to check," Frank later admitted. "I figured if it didn't hurt, it didn't matter." Now, a daily visual check has become an integral part of his routine, not an act of fear, but one of awareness and proactive health. There's something genuinely empowering about knowing your own body well enough to notice even the smallest penis skin changes. This practice isn't about being paranoid. It's about being proactive. A quick glance while drying off after a shower or while dressing in the morning can provide valuable information. Over time, this simple habit builds a deeper connection with your health, your awareness, and your sense of control. From a medical standpoint, this daily check helps in catching the early signs of irritation, infections, rashes, or growths that could be signals of something more serious. Many men feel awkward bringing up such matters during checkups, but when you've been keeping track on your own, it becomes easier to speak up, show your doctor, and take the next step with clarity instead of apprehension. Ultimately, part of aging gracefully involves staying engaged with our bodies, not avoiding them. Being older doesn't mean becoming disconnected. If anything, it's a time to be more connected than ever, not because something is presumed to be wrong, but as a way of honoring the body that has carried you through every season of life. Frank's vigilance saved him. Early detection is key, but beyond watching for problems, how can you actively nurture the skin itself as it ages? Harold, 82, discovered a surprisingly simple answer to a persistent discomfort he thought was just part of aging. Rule 3. The moisture miracle: why this overlooked step is crucial for aging skin. Frank's vigilance saved him. Early detection is key, but beyond watching for problems, how can you actively nurture the skin itself as it ages? Harold, 82, discovered a surprisingly simple answer to a persistent discomfort he thought was just part of aging. For years, Harold had endured persistent irritation and dry, patchy skin in his genital area, often making him feel self-conscious and uncomfortable. Like many, he had chalked it up as an inevitable consequence of getting older. Then, during a routine visit, his doctor suggested a remarkably straightforward addition to his daily regimen: applying just a pea-sized amount of moisturizer once a day. The change, in Harold's own words, was remarkable. He candidly shared, "I didn't even realize how tight the skin had gotten." This highlights a fundamental aspect of aging skincare. As we age, skin everywhere on our bodies, including on the penis, naturally becomes thinner, drier, and more sensitive. What many men don't realize is that, much like the skin on their hands, face, or elbows, this delicate area also requires adequate moisture to maintain its health and integrity. Daily penis moisturizing, a practice that might sound unnecessary or even a little strange to some, is actually one of the smartest ways for older men to prevent the cracking, flaking, itching, and general discomfort that can quietly develop over time, leading to significant dry skin relief. The key is selecting the right product. It's essential to use something fragrance-free, gentle, and specifically formulated for sensitive skin. Products containing alcohol, menthol, or heavy perfumes should be avoided, as they can cause further irritation. A small amount of an unscented lotion or a medical-grade barrier cream, gently applied after drying off from a shower, can do wonders. The objective isn't to slather or overdo it. It's simply to help replenish the moisture that aging skin may no longer be producing sufficiently on its own. Harold's experience is a testament to this. "Now, I don't think twice about it," he said of his moisturizing habit. "It's part of my routine, like brushing my teeth." This kind of care isn't merely cosmetic. It's profoundly functional. Dry, fragile skin is far more likely to crack, which can lead to bleeding, potential infection, or simply ongoing discomfort during daily movements. Whether a man is still sexually active or not, comfort matters immensely, as does confidence. The absence of irritation, that simple feeling of everything being just fine, provides a peace of mind that is often understated. From a psychological standpoint, moisturizing is also a way of reclaiming attention and care for a part of the body that some men may disconnect from as they get older. Instead of adopting the mindset that that part of my life is behind me, it shifts the focus toward an affirmation. I'm still here, and I still care. This subtle but powerful shift can lead to an improved self-esteem boost, greater comfort, and even better communication with a doctor or partner should any concerns arise. It's an act of stewardship, not vanity. Harold found comfort by nourishing his skin. But what about the vitality from within? Robert, 76, stumbled upon an unexpected benefit for his sexual health. Not from a pill, but from simply putting one foot in front of the other. Rule 4. The movement mandate: how your steps power more than just your heart. Harold found comfort by nourishing his skin. But what about the vitality from within? Robert, 76, stumbled upon an unexpected benefit for his sexual health. Not from a pill, but from simply putting one foot in front of the other. Robert decided to start taking short walks around his block twice a day. It was nothing extreme, just 10 to 15 minutes in the morning and again before dinner. About a month into this new routine of daily movement, he certainly felt more energetic, but something else rather startled him. He began waking up more often with morning erections, a phenomenon he hadn't experienced in years. He hadn't changed his diet. He hadn't started any new medications. The most significant shift was simply that his legs, and by extension the blood vessels in his lower body, were moving more. This brings to light a critical aspect of penis health in older age that many men don't fully realize: the absolutely crucial role of blood flow. Erection strength, sensation, and even the body's ability to heal properly in that area all depend significantly on a steady, oxygen-rich supply of blood reaching the tissues every single day. The encouraging truth is that you don't necessarily need pills or invasive treatments to support this vital process. Often, what helps most is simply moving your body. The penis doesn't operate in isolation. It's an integral part of a larger system encompassing blood vessels, nerves, and muscle coordination that all work in concert. As we get older, circulation can naturally slow down, a process that can be exacerbated by sitting for long periods, avoiding physical activity, or having underlying health issues such as diabetes, high blood pressure, or cholesterol buildup. That's why making time each day for light movement isn't just beneficial for your heart or your joints. It's directly advantageous for your sexual health. Older men, particularly for maintaining healthy penis circulation and erection health. Robert's story is a perfect illustration. The medical link is clear. Physical activity, even gentle forms, sends a signal to your blood vessels to open up, remain flexible, and keep your circulation strong. Movement also helps control blood sugar levels, reduce inflammation throughout the body, and support nerve health. All factors that directly influence the pelvic region and contribute to active aging. Importantly, this isn't about committing to heavy lifting or intense gym workouts. Even light stretching, a bit of gardening, or consistent walking like Robert undertook can create that gentle boost your lower body needs. This rule also carries a quiet emotional impact. Movement isn't just about physical health. It's about claiming your space in the world, affirming that you're still active, still present, and still choosing to engage with life on your own terms. That kind of intention often carries over into how you treat every part of your body. The key is consistency. It doesn't have to be long or intense. It just has to happen regularly. Robert's renewed vigor highlights how systemic health impacts even the most specific functions. But there's one daily bodily function, often rushed and unheeded, that holds a surprising key to long-term comfort and bladder health. Gerald, 81, learned this when nightly bathroom trips and daytime leaks became his unwelcome companions. Rule 5. The mindful release, the unseen dangers of an incomplete bladder emptying. Robert's renewed vigor highlights how systemic health impacts even the most specific functions. But there's one daily bodily function, often rushed and unheeded, that holds a surprising key to long-term comfort and bladder health. Gerald, 81, learned this when nightly bathroom trips and daytime leaks became his unwelcome companions. He found himself waking more frequently at night to urinate, yet seldom feeling fully relieved afterward. Then, a new and frustrating symptom emerged. Occasional daytime leakage, something he had never experienced before. The culprit, as it turned out, wasn't what he initially suspected. He was unknowingly leaving residual urine behind each time he went to the bathroom, creating a perfect storm for potential problems. This brings us to one of overlooked, yet critically important, daily habits for older men: urinary health, ensuring the bladder fully empties each time. It might seem like a minor detail, but over time, incomplete voiding can quietly lead to a host of issues, including urinary tract infections, UTI prevention being a key benefit of this practice, undue pressure on the prostate, a significant aspect of prostate health, general discomfort, and even potential bladder damage. Many men don't even realize this is happening. As we age, the muscles that control urination can weaken, the prostate gland may enlarge, and the sensation in the bladder can become less reliable. All these age-related changes can contribute to a situation where the urge to urinate is less clear, or where a man stops midway, thinking he's finished, when in reality, his bladder hasn't fully emptied. That leftover urine then creates an ideal environment for bacteria to grow. Gerald's doctor provided insight into his symptoms of nocturia and leakage, explaining the concept of incomplete bladder emptying. The solution, thankfully, involved a few simple techniques centered around mindful urination. Gerald learned the importance of taking his time, consciously relaxing his muscles fully, and even staying seated during urination, which helped him to void more completely. Within weeks of adopting these practices, his symptoms showed marked improvement. Taking your time is absolutely key. Rushing or trying to force urination can actually work against your body's natural processes. Instead, if needed, sit down. Breathe deeply and allow yourself an extra 10 to 20 seconds after the initial stream seems to have ended, just to be sure everything is out. Sometimes, gently leaning forward or shifting your position slightly from side to side can help trigger that final release for complete bladder emptying. These might sound like small adjustments, but for many older men, they represent the difference between ongoing urinary discomfort and lasting relief. Beyond the clear physical benefits, there's something mentally grounding about this practice. Being mindful during a moment as routine as using the bathroom can reconnect you with your body's signals. It's not just about plumbing. It's about listening, paying attention, and taking yourself seriously enough to slow down, observe, and respond. Many men are taught from a young age not to discuss these issues, but acknowledging them is how you stay ahead and maintain control. Gerald found relief by paying closer attention to a fundamental bodily process. These 5 men, Dennis, Frank, Harold, Robert, and Gerald, each uncovered a simple truth about caring for themselves as they aged. Their stories converge into a powerful message about respect, health, and enduring confidence. Your body, your care. Embracing these habits for a confident future. Gerald found relief by paying closer attention to a fundamental bodily process. These 5 men, Dennis, Frank, Harold, Robert, and Gerald, each uncovered a simple truth about caring for themselves as they aged. Their stories converge into a powerful message about respect, health, and enduring confidence. As we draw these insights together, it's vital to reiterate that caring for your penis in older age isn't about vanity or shame. It's profoundly about comfort, sustained health, and, above all, self-respect for a part of your body that has served you well for decades and still deserves your thoughtful attention. The penis care recap is straightforward. The 5 essential rules we've explored: gentle daily cleaning, diligent daily visual checks, consistent moisturizing, regular supportive movement, and mindful urination, may each seem simple on their own. However, when practiced together, they form a cohesive daily rhythm of care. This rhythm supports not just your physical well-being but significantly bolsters older men's confidence and your sense of control, paving the way for lifelong health. Healthy aging isn't about giving up or resigning oneself to decline. Rather, it's an opportunity to tune in more acutely and respond to what your body needs in this particular chapter of life. If even one of these habits is something you're not currently doing, there's no need to feel overwhelmed. The most effective approach is to simply choose one practice and begin today. You might be genuinely surprised at how much better you feel, how much more at ease, and how much more connected you become to your own body. If you're someone who has perhaps felt hesitant or even a little embarrassed to think about this kind of specific self-care, Hopefully, the experiences shared have given you the permission to let those feelings go. There is absolutely nothing shameful about taking care of yourself. In fact, it might be one of the strongest, most empowering things you do. These are not monumental undertakings, but they are deeply meaningful ones. They are the small, consistent actions that help you show up for yourself every day in quiet yet powerful ways, fostering dignity and well-being as the years progress.